Beautiful. All right, my gorgeous ones. So to start our practice today, let's come to the earth. And you can be flat on the ground, or you can have softness in the knees with the soles of the feet on the floor. You can have cushions under your head. So whatever way of coming to the earth feels most relaxing for you, feel free just to give yourself a time to find that place that feels really nice for you. So you guys will be laying upon the earth. I'll be seated just so that I can speak to you a little easier. So just take your time to find your restful place upon the earth. Hi, Joe. Oh, I see Karena's just joining us now. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So let's lay upon the earth. Let's close our eyes or let the gaze be soft. And we'll just take a little time to arrive here in our practice. It's a Sunday, so it's a day of restfulness, of ease. If you have the same very rainy, grey Sunday morning as I do, this is a lovely chance just to enjoy being warm, enjoy being dry, enjoy being in a lovely safe and sheltered space. And within this lovely place, we can find a little movement, we can find our breath, and maybe find that we're able just to let go a little bit of some of the busyness of the week, any busy thoughts that have been moving around in our minds, any worries, any stresses. And often it's a case of just setting some things down and then we'll pick them up again at the end of the practice. And that's very valuable. Like when we're carrying heavy bags, it's just nice to set them aside and give ourselves a chance to rest, and then we'll feel maybe just a little more able to pick up those bags again once we've had time to rest, pause, take some time out. This is also a precious time just to move at our own pace and in our own way. There's no need for competition or comparison or any kind of pressure to strike a pose in a way we think it should look. It's time for you and time for you to practice in a way that feels right for you today, whatever that is. If you've just joined us, we're just laying down on the ground for a few moments just to have a little relax. So you can make your way to the earth if that feels good. And then from our restful place upon the earth, what we're going to do is we're going to soften the knees and pop the soles of the feet on the ground. So if you're already in this position, fine. If you're flat, then we'll just soften the knees and the hips of the soles are now resting upon the earth. So just a nice restful place for the spine to settle into the ground. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to draw just our right knee in towards our heart. So we can take our hands around the knee or the shin or anywhere that feels comfortable and just give it a nice little hug inwards. And then from here, we're just going to easily extend the left leg along the ground. If that feels in any way too much for the hips, you can always keep a softness in the left leg, but hopefully it can just be flat on the earth. Lovely. We're just going to hug that knee in for a couple of breaths. If you feel like you want to wiggle the toes or circle the feet, feel free to do so. I can just see a latecomer. I'm going to let in here while you guys are doing that. Beautiful. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to take hold of the right knee in just the left hand. So the left hand will stay on the leg. The right hand's just going to fall away onto the earth. From here, hi Marion, I see you. Welcome, my darling. From here, we're going to cross the knee over the center line of the body. So we're creating this twist through mainly your lower back. You might feel it a little in the hips as well. So your shoulders are still restful in the earth. You can take your gaze over to the right hand if you want to, just so that you're getting that full spiral from the base of the spine to the top. And we'll just take a little time. If you feel like you need to bring a little support underneath the knee or the foot, you can bring your cushions, your blankets in. There's always time just to see what feels best, what feels comfortable. If anyone's working with any tenderness in the low back, then just take it really gentle. We'll just take our time. There's no rush as we just take our time to move into our bodies this morning. From here, what we'll do is we'll just draw the knee back to the center line. So the right hip will settle back on the earth. We're just going to hug the knee back to the heart for a moment. So we're back flat on the earth with that knee drawn in. And then from here, we're going to bring the hand round the back of the right thigh. Just think about extending through the leg as if you're floating the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Now the leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You can just take it as far as feels comfortable. So you might have a straight leg. You might have a nice soft leg. You might have the hands on the thigh, or if you want to, you can slide the hands up further. So you can slide the hands up towards the ankle or the toes. You can bring a little movement in if you like. So lots of little options. So feel free just to have a little play around. Just getting that nice stretch through the back of the leg. And then from here, just to come out the way we came in, we'll soften through the knee. We'll hug that right knee back towards the heart. And then we're going to swap over. So we're going to extend the right leg along the ground. We're going to draw the left knee in, and we're just going to start with that hug inwards towards the heart. Beautiful. Again, any little intuitive movement, any little wiggles or waddles or shimmies, feel free to bring them in. But from here, what we'll do is we'll take the left hand in the left knee in the right hand, and we're going to cross the knee over the center line of the body. So the shoulders are settled into the earth. We're crossing that knee over the center line, so you're creating this twist through the low back. And then option, if you want to, just to take your gaze over to the left. And we'll take a few lovely breaths here. So you might feel this within your low back, maybe a little in the hips and the glutes. Might even feel it running down the outside of your thigh. None of those are right or wrong. It's just we're going to feel these in different places depending on where our tensions are. And then once again, we'll draw the knee back to the center line. So the hips are going to settle back on the earth. Beautiful. We're hugging the knee in for a moment. And then from here, we're going to take the hand around the back of the thigh. We're going to extend through the leg and bring in any little elements we like, such as wiggling the toes. Soften the knee if you want to. Readjust where the hands are. And then once again, we'll come out the way we came in, we'll soften through the knee, we'll just hug that left knee back towards the heart. And then what we'll do is we'll bring the right knee back in as well. So we're now coming to a nice little tuck, drawing both knees in towards the heart. Beautiful. Then you can have a little rock and roll side to side if that feels nice. If you want to, we can take a couple of circles with the knees. So we can circle the knees in one direction as if we're creating a circle, a spiral in the sky. Or we might take it the other way. So just a little bit of movement here within the hips. And then as we draw the knees back to center, we're going to come into happy baby. So we're going to take the knees as wide as we can, as if we're trying to tuck them in towards our armpits. We're going to shine the soles of the feet to the sky. We're going to take hold of outside edges of the feet. If taking hold of the feet feels too much, you can always take hold of your ankles, or you can just let the feet be restful and you can take hold of the knees in half happy baby. You're still getting that lovely opening through the hips. So lots of lovely options, whatever feels best for you. And then if you want to, we can just take that little rock and roll, that little sway side to side if that feels nice for you, to just have that little kind of massage of the spine into the earth. Or if you'd rather be still, of course you're welcome to be still. Just allowing ourselves a few easeful moments in the pose. And then from here, we'll gently release the feet. We're just going to hug the knees back in. So we'll just come back to that tuck for a moment. Lovely. And then from here, we'll release the soles of the feet to the earth. Soft knees, soft hips. We're going to roll to our comfortable side. So we're just going to come into that little yogi recovery pose. Just on whatever side, whatever edge feels comfortable for you. And then from here, we're going to rise up. We're coming to an easy seat. So take your time. If you want to sit on cushions or blankets, you're welcome to come to anything soft that feels supportive for your easy seat. Just taking a little time, we've got our sit bones, our legs, the very base of our spine settled into the earth. We've got our roots running down, and then we are rising tall like a lovely tree as we gently lift through the spine. If you feel like you want to take a couple of shoulder rolls, feel free to do so. If you want to just give the head a little movement, just as we settle into this space. So bring a little movement in if you like. And then when you feel ready, we're just going to settle into our easy seat. So you can rest the hands wherever you like, so knees or lap or earth. And if it feels comfortable, we'll just close the eyes. I'm just going to take a peaceful minute here, allowing our roots to connect to the earth, the strong tree trunk of our spine to rise tall, And that lovely rise and fall of the breath, continuing to be our point of focus. And from here, what we'll do is we'll gently open the eyes if we have them closed. And we're just going to sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. So we're just going to reach tall. You can have the arms out wide like tree branches. You can have the palms together, whatever feels nice for you. Again, you don't have to do what anyone else is doing. You can simply do what feels nice, what feels right for you this morning. And then I'll mirror you here. We're going to drop the left hand to the earth and we're just going to take a little side stretch. As always, the gaze can go wherever you like. So if you want the gaze to go up to the sky, that's lovely. If you'd rather have it to the earth or neutral, whatever feels best. And you can slide the hand away if you want to take the stretch further. If that feels too much, especially on the low back, feel free to bring the hand close and just have the hand support you a little bit. But this will be different for everybody. From here, we're going to rise up tall once more, reaching high, lovely. And we're going to take it over to the other side. A few easeful breaths in that side stretch. And then from here, as we rise up tall once more, long through the body and the arms, we're going to hinge from our hips. We're going to come into a forward fold, so the hands will come to the earth. We're going to walk the hands forward and we'll just let the head hang heavy. So we're coming into a forward fold over the crossed legs, if that's comfortable for you. If you find that there's a bit of pressure on the ankles and you want to bring a softness in, you can bring a blanket or a cushion underneath the ankles. If it all just feels too strong on ankles and knees, feel free to extend the legs out instead, and you can always fold over straight legs. There's always an option here, depending on what feels best. And whatever fold we find ourselves settled in, we can let the head hang. Soft in the jaw, in the face. And as we rise up through head and heart, we're going to come back to upright. And again, with that nice tall spine, we're going to take a spiral twist. I'll mirror you. So we'll take the right hand on outside of left knee. Left hand's going to go on the earth behind you. We're just going to spiral twist round to the side of the room or to the back of the room. Beautiful. So the gaze will follow that lovely spiral. And then from here, we're just going to unravel. We'll take the spiral twist around to the other side. And we'll unravel back to center. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to come over the knees and we're going to come to a tabletop position. So give yourself a little time here to get comfortable if you want to bring any padding underneath the knees so that your tabletop position feels nice and comfortable. Now we're just going to do a few cat-cow movements here. So on the inhale, we're going to flex the spine in, tailbone and crown to the sky. On the exhale, we're going to flex the spine out, tailbone and crown to the earth. And we're just going to roll through this with the pace of our own breath, so no rush. Finding that rhythm. Beautiful. So what we'll do is we'll take one more flexion inwards, one more flexion outwards, and just when you're ready, we'll come back to a neutral spine. So we'll just come back to that tabletop in our own time. And then from here, we're going to come to a nice wide knee child's pose. We're going to bring big toes together to touch, knees as wide as feels comfortable. We'll sit bum back onto heels. We're going to reach the hands forward and we'll rest the forehead on the earth. So take your time to settle here. You can bring in extra props, support if you like to have them for your child's pose. So with those arms still outstretched towards the top of the mat, what we're going to do is we're just going to slide our hands over to the right side of the mat. So still in child's pose, we're just coming into that little side stretch as if I've just drawn your hands over to one side. Head still restful in the air. And then from here, we're just going to walk the hands over to the left side or whatever's the opposite side for you. And then from here, we're going to come back to that center original child's pose. We'll just take a breath. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to all fours. So we'll bring the hands under the shoulders, we'll square hips and knees back up, so we're back to tabletop. Lovely. So from here, we're going to come into a little balance. So what we'll do is we'll extend the right leg out behind us. We're just going to tuck the toes under, so that leg is acting like a little prop, a little kickstand. So right leg's behind us. We're going to take right hand, so it's same side. We're going to float the right hand to the sky, so we are shining our hips and our heart to the side of the room. Beautiful. Take your time. If you want to pause during this, you can take a pause to rest. If you feel happy with your balance, feel free to think about floating that right foot off the ground so that we are creating this lovely starburst shape, long through the arms, long through that floating right leg. If that feels a little too much, feel free just to keep the foot restful on the earth. So it's just an option. Gaze can go wherever you like. So if you want to take the gaze to the sky, you can take it to the sky. If you want to take it to the earth, take it to the earth. Remember that easeful breath. Slow and steady, unhurried. Gorgeous. Let's float the hand and the knee back to the earth. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to extend the left leg, tuck the toes under, and then we're going to float that left hand to the sky, opening hips and heart to the side of the room. Option, just if you want it, is to float the left foot as if you're trying to stamp the sole of the foot to the wall. So it's just long lines through the arms, long line through the leg. Easeful breath, finding our peace in the pose. Beautiful. So once again, hand and knee come back down to the earth. We're going to come into what narrow knee child's pose now. So knees and feet are together. We sink the bum back onto the heels. And if it's comfortable, we're going to reach the hands towards the toes and just rest the forehead or the top of the head on the earth. If you're not so keen on this one and you want to come back to the wide knee child's pose, you're very welcome to do so. Everyone has their favorite, so you can find yours. We'll find our restful place for a few lovely breaths. From our lovely child's pose, we'll just gently unfurl, we'll gently unravel. And what we'll do is we'll bring our bums to the earth and we're going to sweep the legs around into a cobbler's pose. So take your time, bring the soles together. You can take hold of the ankles, the feet, the toes, whatever feels most comfortable as we draw those feet in towards the hips, sit bones rooted in the earth. We're thinking about consciously opening through the hips and draw those knees down towards the ground. And then just if you want to, you can bring it into a forward fold. So we can hinge from the hips, drawing the heart down towards the big toes. So two lovely options. You can come into that fold, let the head hang heavy, or if you prefer just to stay upright, you can stay upright and work with the hips, whatever feels comfortable for you today. So from here, let's rise through head and heart. Beautiful. So I'm going to mirror you once again here. So we're going to leave the right knee bent just as it is. But what we're going to do is we're just going to extend the left leg straight in front of us. So one of the legs is nice and straight, the other one's staying pretty much in that cobbler's position. Perfect. So then from here, nice and tall through the torso, we can take one hand either side of the knee or the leg, and we just walk the hands forward. We're just going to come to a forward fold over that straight leg. And you can leave the hands rested on the earth, or you can grab hold of the leg if that feels more secure. So you can take hold of your leg or your ankle or your foot. Oh, hey, new yogis joining us. Hi, welcome, lovely. So you see what mummy's doing? We're just hinging from the hips and we're just folding over the straight leg, but just take it as far as is comfortable, and then we'll just let the head hang heavy. We're just going to take a couple of breaths here. So you might feel a little bit of stretch through the back of the leg, and we're just going to notice, just going to breathe for a moment. And then from here, as we rise up, we'll come back to upright, we're going to swap it over. So we're going to extend the other leg and we're going to draw the other one in. So the sole of that foot's kind of resting on your inner thigh. Lovely. And then again, from here, we're nice and tall through the torso. We hinge from the hips and we're just kind of melting our body over the straight leg and letting the head hang heavy. Lovely, just a few easeful breaths, just noticing the stretch. And then once again, we'll rise up tall. Perfect. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring both soles of the feet to the earth. I'm just going to show you from the side. We're hugging the knees in. So we're making like a little ball. And then we're just finding that little sweet spot of balance on the sit bones. So we float the feet just gently off the ground. So we create a little balancing egg shape, nice and tall through the torso to create that lift. Beautiful. We'll take a few lovely breaths here. We call this the balancing egg. So we're just little eggs, settled and balanced. And then from our little balancing egg, just check that it's safe behind you, check there's nothing you might fall into, so scoot forwards if you need to. But then from the little balancing egg, we're just going to rock back onto the earth, and we can have a little side to side wiggle, or forwards and backwards, or you can do little circles, whatever you like to settle into the ground. Feel free to have a little rocking and rolling, just like an egg would as it settles upon the floor. Hopefully it would rock and roll, not just smush on the floor. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Great rocking and rolling eggs there. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to release the soles of the feet to the floor. So your knees are soft, hips are soft, but the soles of the feet are on the ground. Lovely. From here, we're going to come into the pose we call the figure four shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the outside edge of the right ankle and bring it on top of the left knee. And just thinking about consciously drawing the right knee away from you, just so that you're opening through the hip socket. It's not floating too close to your face. Beautiful. So figure four shape with the legs. For some of us, this is going to feel enough already on the hips, so you can stay here. Or if you want to, we come into what we call thread the needle. So we bring the hands round the back of the left thigh. So your right hand is coming through that little triangle you've made with the leg, which is the thread the needle part. And then as we draw that left knee in towards us, we might feel it a little in the right hip. Now, some people like to have that left knee soft. Some people prefer to straighten through the left leg, so the sole's shining up to the sky. You can do whichever version you like best, whatever feels easier on the knees. Lovely. We're just going to take a few lovely breaths here. So as we release the left leg, the sole of the foot's coming back to the earth for a moment. And then we're just going to swap over that figure four shape. So we'll bring the sole of the right foot to the earth, and then it's the outside of left ankle that comes on top of right knee, drawing that knee away from the face, from the body. Lovely. And then from here, if you want to do thread the needle, we bring the hands round the back of the right thigh. We're drawing the right leg in towards us, with an option to have the right knee soft, or we can straighten through the leg, whatever feels best for you. We take a few easeful breaths. We're just trying to find a little restfulness in each pose. And then once again, what we'll do is we'll, we'll release the sole of the right foot to the earth, and we'll just unravel the legs. So we've got the soles of the feet upon the earth once more. Beautiful. So soft knees, soft hips, soles of the feet on the ground. What we're going to do from here is we're just going to take our hands behind our head and our elbows out, like we're sunbathing. So this is just a nice way to kind of open through the shoulders. If you prefer to be like a T shape, you can do that as well. Then from here, we're just going to let the knees fall over to the right and the gaze to the left. So we're just coming into an easeful supine twist. The knees are going one way, gaze is going to the other. So you're creating a little spiral twist through your body. And we'll just take a few nice breaths here. So once you're in that position, you're just relaxing. Gravity's doing the work. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we'll just journey the knees over to the other side. Beautiful. And the gaze goes to the right. The knees go one way, gaze goes the other. Perfect. So a little bit like when you wring out a tea towel, you're just getting that little spiral twist. And then from here, what we'll do is we'll bring our knees and our gaze back up to the sky. And we'll just kind of find a little stretch out through the body. So we'll extend through the legs, we'll extend through the arms, we'll just have a long stretch through the body. You can have a little wiggle with fingers and toes if you like. If you want to take a little side stretch to one side and then to the other, you're welcome to do that as well. You can spread out like a starfish if you want to reach through all the limbs. So we're just having a nice little final stretch out through the body in any way that feels nice for you. Gorgeous. So when you're ready, we'll bring the arms alongside the body and we're going to get ready for our meditation and relaxation time. So if you want to be nice and warm, please put jumpers, please put socks or blankets or cushions to gather anything you'd like to be nice and cozy. We're going to be here for about 10 minutes, so just bear that in mind. If you think you might get chilly, then feel free to grab yourself the layers that you need. Feeling nice and restful, feeling nice and safe, feeling nice and dry and warm, and it's all grizzly outside. It's really lovely. So as we find our restful place upon the earth, you might want to close the eyes. And we're just going to notice the breath. So you might notice as you breathe that the tummy and the chest, they rise and fall with the breath. You might notice there's a little sound of the breath as we breathe. You might even notice there's a little feeling of the air coming in and out of the nostrils or the mouth as we breathe. You don't have to be aware of all of these things, but these are just little elements of the breath that we might notice as we settle and relax here. And just in noticing these little elements of the breath, that is helping us bring our awareness inwards. So inwards towards our breath, inwards towards that rhythm. And that in turn helps us bring our awareness and all of our busy thoughts away from whatever's happened this week. So whatever busyness, whatever tasks, whatever projects we've had to work on, we can just leave them all at the side of the room. And just give ourselves a little time to be peaceful and be quiet and just leave the busyness of the world outside for a little bit. As we're bringing our awareness into that restfulness of the breath, we might also feel the body relaxing and settling into the earth. So we might feel, perhaps as we consciously relax the toes and the feet and the ankles, we let them settle into the earth. We let the toes, the feet and the ankles relax. Next, we think about relaxing the legs and the knees and the kneecaps. Just letting them relax into the earth. And we'll let the hips and the tummy be soft. And the chest and the heart are easeful as they gently move with the breath and the rhythm of your heartbeat. Letting the shoulders and the muscles that run down your back relax, supported by the earth beneath you. The arms and the elbows and the wrists and the hands all relax into the earth. And we relax the muscles of the neck and the jaw, the little muscles of your face, the little muscles around your eyes and your forehead and your very top of your head, and letting them all go. Just allowing the body to settle, allowing the body to relax. The earth, nice and solid, grounded beneath us, it's supporting us. It's safe for us just to let go. And just perhaps in our mind's eye, with the rain falling outside, perhaps we'll just imagine ourselves in a rainy forest. And it is raining around us, but we are sat underneath the shelter of a beautiful, big, broad green tree. And its big leaves acting as an umbrella to shelter us. We might be wrapped in blankets and sat on soft cushions so we feel very warm and comfortable. Maybe we are leaning our backs against the big tree trunk. And we're just watching the rain fall on the trees around us. So we might see little sparkling raindrops fall from leaves and fall through trees. We'll hear the pitter-patter of the rain. You'll smell that scent of the forest, the damp earth and the moss. And just taking in the sights and the sounds of this little forest sanctuary. Letting the rain fall around us while we are warm and dry and peaceful. This is the time to be slow, to lie low to the wall until the bitter weather passes, to try as best you can not to let the wire brush of doubt scrape from your heart all sense of yourself and your inner light. If you remain hopeful, time will come good, and you will find your feet again on fresh pastures of promise, where the air will be kind and blushed with new beginnings. And so, my beautiful yogis, perhaps the next inhale is just a little longer, just a little deeper than the last. You might want to wiggle fingers and toes, or have a little stretch or a wiggle, whatever feels nice, as we gently bring our awareness back to our bodies and back to our breath. If you are laying on the ground, we're just going to bend the knees and pop the soles of the feet on the floor. We're going to roll to our comfortable side and just take a breath or two. And then from here, we're just going to rise up to an easy seat. It doesn't matter what way you're facing. You can bring the blankets in with you if you like. I'm just going to keep those eyes closed for a moment longer if you can. So the sit bones are settled in the earth once more. Our tree trunk roots are connecting to the ground as we rise up tall. And we're just holding just a little bit of that calm, that peacefulness that we've cultivated within our practice. We're just holding it within. Just feeling a little bit of that slowness, that stillness, that easefulness that just maybe we'll carry with us into the rest of our Sunday and into the rest of our week. This little moment before we return to the world is also a lovely time just to send a little love, a little gratitude to your body, your breath, your hearts, your minds, everything that has allowed you to practice yoga today. And how lucky we are to be able to practice yoga with our friends. So just to finish our practice, let's take a nice deep inhale. We're just going to sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. So we inhale, reach tall. We'll bring the palms together. We're going to exhale the hands to heart center in prayer. From here, we gently open the eyes. And to ourselves and each other, we say namaste, namaste, which means the light in me honors the light in you.